Alright, for the last one on the practice quiz, we have 3 cotangent squared x minus 1 is equal to 0. So we're going to need to get the cotangent isolated. So first step, add 1 to both sides. And then we're going to go ahead and divide both sides by 3. So we end up with cotangent squared x is equal to 1/3. And we really need the cotangent to just be plain old cotangent to the first. So we're going to square root both sides. So we end up with cotangent x is equal to, now over here, we really have the square root of 1 over the square root of 3. And we're going to need to rationalize that. So multiply both the numerator and the denominator by square root of 3. So what that gives us is that cotangent x is equal to the square root of 3 divided by 3. Now, make sure you put plus or minus, because we took the square root. And again, this is one of our reciprocal functions, so maybe it's a little bit easier to think of this instead of cotangent as where does tangent equal and then take the reciprocal. Now you can either take and flip this guy, or we could have taken and flipped the original before we rationalized it, and that looks a little bit easier to me because when I flip that, the square root of 1 is going to be on the bottom, and then you're not going to have to rationalize it at all. So really, we're looking for around our unit circle where tangent is equal to positive or negative square root of 3. So that's going to happen in quadrants 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we're going to have 4 answers initially on this before we write it in the general form. So if you look at your unit circle, again, you really need to make sure you know the tangent values. If you don't know them off the top of your head, you need to make sure you know how to find them. Remember, tangent is just, you take the y coordinate and you divide it by x. So tangent at pi over 6, when you do y divided by x, is the square root of 3 over 3. Tangent at pi over 4, when you do y divided by x, is 1. And tangent, when you get to pi over 3, take square root of 3 over 2, divide it by 1/2, you just get the square root of 3, which is what we're looking for on this problem. So every over 3 angle on your unit circle is a solution to this equation. So we have pi over 3, 2 pi over 3, 4 pi over 3, and 5 pi over 3. I like to list them out like that, but you don't have to. Alright, so if you look, the first and the third quadrant angles are always going to make, as long as they're the same denominator, are always going to make the same line on your unit circle. So that means that pi over 3 and pi over 4 pair up to give you a straight line. So when you write the general formula, you just need to keep the smaller angle plus pi times k. And then if you look, the other ones, the second quadrant and the fourth quadrant ones, again, they have the same denominator, but those two make the same line as well. So again, we're going to keep the smaller angle, so 2 pi over 3, and we're going to add pi k to it. So those two general equations there give you every possible solution to that equation.
Made with Doodlecast Pro.